Hey everybody. Oh, excuse me. Hey everybody. This is Michael Everard, checking in with everyone today. I realized last night that I wanted to talk about a simple concept. The concept is very simply a question. Um, how do we know? Um, how do we know anything? And that is the question of the universe, really. Well, let's talk about our tool through which we can learn to understand, seek answers, and hopefully come to a conclusion where we do know something. So, our consciousness. And I may have described what the consciousness is. It is our identity, it is who we are, it is how we experience life, whether it be in this realm or the next. And it's eternal. We never lose it, but it does modulate. It can modulate faster or it can modulate slower, depending on what it is that we want to experience. So, let's talk about what people want to know. So people want to know the answers to the riddles provided to us through the universe. So we want to understand and know about science. We want to understand and know about ourselves. We want to understand and know about God. And it doesn't matter if we believe in God in all the different ways that have been presented. It doesn't matter if we choose to disbelieve in God, because my wife Tammy had a very profound conclusion. It was about a month or so ago. The whole issue of whether or not God exists. Well, someone that claims to say that God doesn't exist is automatically refuting their own belief by making that statement, because they will say, well, God doesn't exist, and if he does, prove it. Well, proving something that cannot be describable in words is tough. But how do we know? How do we know anything? Well, my theory that began formulating April 1st, April Fool's Day, was to answer, to find answers to the questions of the universe. I already believe in God. I've had faith in a higher power since I was 3. What I learned is that if you seek to know God, you will get stuck, because it's hard to fully comprehend that which is incomprehensible. I also learned that seeking love or seeking to be loved is also, I'll just say it, a fool's errand, because you have to experience true love, not just from family members, but from a soulmate, in order to fully grasp um, how powerful it is. So when I first met Tammy, this was in 1997, my first day at work at San Gabriel Pomona Regional Center. I knew it. I knew it the moment I laid eyes on her and spoke to her, that she was going to be my wife and was my soulmate. I had to wait. She had a boyfriend, so I had to be patient, as Master Yoda advises. Patient I was. And I overcame fear, told her how I felt, because I knew that I knew how I felt. The overcoming fear was not knowing exactly how she felt. So, um, so seeking to know God is challenging. Seeking to know love can be heartbreaking, and I discovered that the mission, as it were, at least for me, was to seek truth. So what I found is two premises. God communicates most effectively and efficiently with the most amount of people through feelings, and I'll get to that later. Second premise is that if you seek truth and you accept any level of truth about yourself, your oscillating rate of frequency moves faster. With faster rates of frequency, your awareness is clearer. Simple, test it out. Do a deep dive, soul searching, as it were, and you'll find that what I'm telling you is true. So, okay, so how do I know that those premises are true? Well, as the mad scientist that I am, I ran a little experiment, and I simply tested my theory. So, I have a vivid imagination, and I decided to go with the flow with all of the shutdowns of the COVID-19. I decided that being angry about it was placing a judgment or a barrier, and would not allow for peace of mind through this process. Peace of mind through any experience is key. It allows you to be aware of anything and everything that may come your way. Uh, warriors that study martial arts know that if you're angry in the middle of a fight, you're wasting energy, or you can't really waste energy, but it's misdirecting energy, and you're going to be scattered and you're not going to be focused. So peace of mind is key. So test out my theory, and you'll find that it's true, and you will know it because of how you feel. So we go back to the feelings. Every moment of clarity, awareness, or what I like to call a true now, like you're having right now, is that you are using all of your five senses without even realizing it. You're seeing me, you're hearing me on a two-dimensional screen that's representing the 3-4 space-time continuum. Trippy technology. It's ones and zeros. Actually, everything is ones and zeros. The best way to find your 0 point, where you will have peace of mind and clarity, is to do a little exercise. And I may have discussed this in other videos, but it's really simple. Your sight, your sound, your smell, your taste, and your touch. Okay? Become aware of all five senses and ask yourself, and it's a process, go slow. Ask yourself, what do you see? Ask yourself, what do you hear? Ask yourself, what do you smell? Ask yourself, what do you taste? And lastly, ask yourself, what are you touching? And the final question is, how do you feel? You feel fine, don't you? If you're honest with yourself and you're in the present moment, you're absolutely beautiful, peaceful, and balanced. Now, there is 3 kinds of knowing, or I should say 3 methods when it comes to your. We're going to talk about our 3 temporary aspects: our mental, our physical, and our spiritual. So, your physical. How do you know if your physical body is knowing something? Well, you listen to your body, don't you? So if you eat something you're not supposed to be eating, you're going to have a stomach ache. If you or not feel nauseous, like when you get food poisoning, how do you know you got food poisoning? Well, you're going to be throwing up quite profusely. I experienced that 15 years ago. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyway, how do you know if your physical body is in danger? Well, you have to trust your instincts. They never lie. Okay? So trust your instincts, trust how your body feels. If your body feels good because you're living in a healthy manner, you'll have more energy. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to be tired. It's so simple. Okay, so that's your physical body. Okay, your heart. The heart wants what the heart wants. So when it comes to knowing if somebody's right for you, just listen to your heart. And sometimes we experience people in our lives prior to finding our soulmate. Um, that's actually for a reason. So what we know or understand about life is that um, we sometimes don't appreciate it, do we? So when we feel um, bored or impatient, or um, uh, we feel like we're unworthy, um, what's happening is that we're not appreciating um, whatever it is that's coming our way. So the purpose of friction is to slow you up and take heed, realize that there's something that is preventing you from oscillating at faster rates of frequency. So listen to your heart. Um, a really, really great way to become centered is to uh, go out into Mother Nature and just appreciate what you see. I have a lovely front yard. I think you've been listening to me speak, but you've heard the birds chirping. Um, I have in front of me um, a lovely lovely yard with green grass. I have two blue cars in my driveway. One of them is my mother-in-law's. That's like a navy blue, and then I have a lighter blue um, car for Tammy and myself um, that we're going to give Sophia when she's old enough. And it's almost there. uh, time is almost for Sophia to take her driving test and all that. So, good times. Um, where was I? Appreciation. Okay, so um, focus. Uh, go go out. Take a walk. Um, take a walk. Take a walk in the rain. Take a walk in the woods. Take a hike. Um, some friends of mine are going to go to a protest because um, hiking trails are closed. So um, politicians are doing what they think is right, which is fine, um, but they're preventing people from experiencing nature, which I find to be um, non-productive. I'll just leave it at that. Go out in Mother Nature, experience experience the beauty, and ask yourself, how do you feel? When you show appreciation, it's your way of saying thank you, and then the feeling of peace that you get is God's way of saying you're most graciously welcome. And excuse me, it works every time. So that's your physical body, um, and your mental well-being. You do use your all five senses um, to begin with on all of these missions. Um, your brain processes all that, and then your heart will let you know. So um, trust your instincts, follow your heart. Okay, that brings us to our spirituality. Um, we have a mechanism. It's called intuition. So, how do we know? Um, we we listen to our emotions. So, it's really simple. Um, Listen. Um, don't trust what you see, because what you think is real is an illusion. So, um, use your intuition, feel your way through, and then you will know. And how will you know? Because of how you feel. It's very, very, very simple. So, um, do use your eyes for the initial signals, but then instead of trying to mentally understand a systematic process, just listen to your intuition, and you will feel if it's where you should be going. Again, everything that you accept as any level of truth will allow for you to be more clear of thought. The faster your consciousness oscillates, the more aware you will be. So, we are all learning here. We are all modulating every aspect of our being. And we touched on it. We touched on it yesterday, I believe, or the day before. I'm losing track of time. Your temporary aspects are your mental, your physical, and your spiritual. So, you you don't. When I say temporary, I don't mean that you ever actually lose those. Those will change. Um, your body doesn't actually die, it transforms. It goes back to the earth, and it becomes plants, and plants are eaten by animals, and cycle of life stuff. Okay, your mental aspect. Hopefully, what'll happen is through all of these processes, you'll lose your ego. Um, some people call it losing your mind. It's a good thing. Just let it happen. It's not a bad thing at all. It's necessary. Um, uh, and actually, and again, I use the term losing your mind because it you don't really lose it. Now that I'm thinking about it, you don't lose your ego, but you do become detached from it. Okay, um, I suppose you could access it at any time if you need to, but that's a whole other story. Um, so mental, physical, spiritual, those are modulating, changing, and then your consciousness and your soul. Those are eternal. Now, I don't believe your soul ever changes because it's a part of God. Does God change what it is? Yeah, I guess that is happening. Um, your consciousness, though, does modulate faster and slower. Um, it's kind of so the faster you go, um, the higher levels of enlightenment you'll experience. Um, so um, that's kind of a long video today. I believe this is the longest video I've ever done. I hope it makes sense. You know, who am I? How do I know that any of this is true? I'm living it. I'm experiencing it, and I only speak the truth. I don't have a reason to lie to anybody. You'll hear the sincerity in my voice, and you'll see the authenticity in my eyes, and you'll feel it in your heart. And it does take a bit of faith to make the initial contact with me, but I'm here for you. If you have any questions, go to you can go to my YouTube, Everard Music, and leave a comment. You can email me, everardmusic@gmail.com. That's E-V as in Victor, R-A-R-D as in David, M-U-S-I-C @gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. You can message me. I still have a day job, as it were, and I am able to message people throughout the day. So have fun with all of this. Choose whichever path you want. There's no right or wrong with any of this. I talk about God's will versus free will. I believe God's will is a smoother path, but and infinitely more fun. However, your will is perfectly valid, and if that's what you choose, do it, and have fun with it. It's that simple, folks. I love you. Have a peaceful now. Namaste, and thank you. Thank you for listening. Bye.